Alright guys, due to a vast amount of people that wanted me to do a full restoration on this project, we're going to do a full restoration, and I listed all the parts down in this Excel sheet. It's going to be very, very expensive to do this, so if you guys could donate, that would be awesome. I'm going to lay it out all right here for you guys. Alright guys, before we start the video, I just wanted to update you guys on what you guys can do to contribute to the build. If you guys don't have any extra money laying around, do not do this. This is for people that want to contribute to the channel and want to see the parts that they bought be put into the bike. This is a great way to, just help me out, help the channel grow, and stuff like that. So what you guys can do is go down the list, and you guys can pick out a part and then donate to that part on the GoFundMe that I'm going to put up in the listing. And I'll put it in the description as well. But so far, for the Honda CR80 build, for the 1987 Honda CR80 build, we're going to need a piston, which is going to be $90, a top and gasket kit, which is $20, clutch gasket, which is $15, engine seals, $11, clutch plates, $30, and then for the frame and the miscellaneous pieces, we're going to need a sandblasted, that's going to be $50. We're going to need powder coat, that's $150. This is for everything. Frame, clutch, frame, brakes, swing arm, all the little miscellaneous pieces are going to be $150, and that's an estimate. I can re-put in the price once I contact my powder coater. Bolts are going to be like around $20, plastics $150, bearings $30, swing arm bushings $55, chain $15, sprockets $30. And maybe I need a new gas tank if I can't get the paint off, which would be $50. I looked that up. Brake pads $25, air filter $10. All these prices were found on Rocky Mountain ATV. I went through the whole site and just actually put pretty low prices on here, because obviously I'll pay for some of it as well. So anyway, the total came to $751. So if each person put in around $10, I mean, it wouldn't be that many people. 70 people would have to put $10 in for this build to be possible. If nobody wants to donate, I will probably take a while to do this project, but if you guys start donating, and you can throw $1 in and just say, I want this $1 to go towards the piston on the GoFundMe, and you'll have $1 towards the piston, and then we'll owe $750 towards the goal. So if you guys want to contribute in the build, help the channel grow, and help this build be possible, please donate to the GoFundMe. I will mention every name that donates before each video and what part you donated to, just so you guys can feel that you contributed to the channel and the project, which I think is really cool. So if you guys want to do that, that will be linked down below and in the description. On to the video. We're tearing apart the bike today. Alright guys, welcome to a new video. Super nice out in Wisconsin today. I think it's like 40 degrees. So that's crazy for being winter time. It's the 23rd of December. Anyway, this is the second video on this bike. This is a 1987 Honda CR80, if you guys didn't know. If you guys didn't watch last video, I highly recommend you go back and look at that video of me picking this up, getting this thing running, and driving it for the first time, because this might be a long series. I read the comments, and everybody wants me to restore this thing back to original and do a complete resto on this thing. So we might be doing that, I guess. I think we're going to tear apart the whole bike is what's going to happen here, which is it's a pretty big task to tear apart a whole bike. Every little piece in the bike needs to come apart, and we're going to, I think, powder coat everything on this thing. The swing arm, the frame, probably, I don't know if you can do the forks or not. These little pieces down here, I don't know if you can powder coat those, but we're going to try. We have to sandblast everything down, including the engine, which we're going to be tearing into and probably doing a rebuild on that. We got to take off the pipe and probably, I think you can powder coat the pipe as well. I know you're probably not supposed to, but you can. And then all these little pieces, so that's probably going to cost quite a bit, but we'll see what happens. I might start getting into powder coating and just see if I can do it myself. But that's probably what I'm gonna have to do. So this should be a pretty fun project. I haven't found plastics yet for it. I know a couple of people sent me links, but the links didn't go through to the plastics, so I don't know if you guys are in the UK or something, but yeah, the links didn't go through and I can't find plastics for this thing. I looked everywhere for it. eBay has a couple pieces here and there, but they don't have everything. They don't have the shroud or the back fender. They've got used ones, but not brand new ones, so it's pretty tough to find. So we might have to use these plastics, even though they're really, really bad. The back fender obviously we can't use, but we can use these, and we definitely need the cover for right there. This cover actually isn't too bad. It's not ripped up or anything. It's just folding out a little bit right there, which isn't that big of a deal. But the plan with it is to just do a full restoration on this thing, as much as I can do. I have never done one completely. I've done one other bike completely, but I used spray paint. I didn't use powder coat. I've never used powder coat on anything, just because it was always too expensive to do. And yeah, and I don't think we have anyone around the area that does it for cheap, but I'll have to look into it, because I think this is definitely a bike that would be a good candidate for a restoration, and maybe one to keep, because it is pretty cool. I like it a lot, and it rips pretty good. So I guess let's get going tearing this thing apart. Alright, before we start digging into the bike and tearing the whole thing completely down, I just want to see what happens if we heat up these plastics a little bit with a heat gun. I want to see if this paint comes off, because I would like to restore the plastics, because original plastics are always better than the new plastics, and it's kind of, you got the history of the bike in there, and I think it's just cool when people take the time and restore old plastics. But let's just take the heat gun and just hit it once and just see what happens with the paint. I also have some oven cleaner we can try out and see if that takes it away. Usually that does. I think this is pretty cheap paint on here. So let's do that first, and then we'll start tearing this thing down. Alright, let's try to hit the plastics with a heat gun and just see what happens. We won't keep it on too long because it would burn the plastic, so let's just go and see what happens here. So as you can see, the paint is coming off. It's just a very slow process. And I don't want the plastic to melt at all. Let's just try the oven cleaner and just see if that takes it off a little bit easier. Alright, we got some easy off oven cleaner here. Take a little spray of that. See if that takes it right off here. Doesn't look like the oven cleaner's working. Paint's not coming off yet. We'll give it a little bit more time and then come back to it, but I think the heat gun worked the best. Alright guys, the oven cleaner took off the first layer, but obviously there's like 10 more layers underneath it. This paint is like extremely thick. You can actually see like how thick it is on there. It's just coated on there so thick. This guy spray painted it probably like 100 times, or just painted on with a brush. I'm not sure what he did, but you can see the rims are all coated black too, so those all need to be done. But all the spokes are pretty tight, so those aren't broken or anything. So we could probably get that paint off with some paint stripper. And then these are painted as well, the forks. And those need to be completely rebuilt as well. But yeah, anyway, that didn't really work, so let's start tearing apart this bike. Two more plastic pieces off. Silencer is off of it. The airbox off next. Airbox off. Let's work on the shroud a little bit here. Shroud is off. All right, let's get the gas tank off now. Gas tank, there's a bolt. It looks like right here. Actually, that's not even on there. This could probably just come off, yeah. Yep, gas tank's just gonna come off now. There's no bolt holding the gas tank on. Just the gas line. Gas tank. Got the front fender here. Let's see, what else do we want to take off this thing? Could probably take off the pipe next. That was easy, pipe came off. That was just held on by that spring on the ground right over there, and then a 14 mil bolt. All right, so we're gonna drain the coolant out. The coolant drain plug is right there, you can see it, pointing to it right there. So all you do is loosen that up and coolant should pour right out of there and into the bucket. If there's any coolant in it, which we already know there is. Open up the cap here. Let that drain for a bit. Just had to open up the cap, get some air in there, but it's draining pretty good now. Next part I think we're gonna take off is the radiator, and then we'll work on the carburetor, and then take off the brake system, brake rod and all that stuff, and then these brakes up here, and the lever bars and all that stuff. So we'll take all that off. Handlebars. I think the last thing we're gonna take off, like I said before, was the engine, just because it's nice and heavy in there, and it's holding the swing arm back like that. But yeah, this bike is pretty easy to tear down. Not too bad at all yet, at least. Stop draining. Let's get the radiator off. I took the little cover off right there, the little fins. There's a bolt right in there. I don't know if you guys can see, it's pretty dark, but there's one right here. And there's one right over here. That
What?
brown.
Oil, yeah.
Oh, that's gross.
It must have came through the head.
Rusty.
Oh, it was rusty.
I don't know. I think so. Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're running it like that.
All right, radiator off. What's the next part we want to take off of here? Let's take off the back brake here.
Fluid? No. Oh, what?
All right, so that's stuck in there pretty good. We're just gonna take off the little lever right here, and then that should fix that problem. All right, we got the back brake off. Let's do the CDI and coil here.
Oh, jeez. The rubber's so hard.
Here, I've got a heat gun. I just don't want to beat up the CDI too much. Ooh. Alright, just gotta get the coil off. Looks like an 8mm, 2 bolts right there. Coil off. Alright, just got the clutch cable off, got the brakes done, got the CDI and what else do we have off of here? We're gonna work on the front brake now, get the caliper off. Shouldn't be too bad. This whole bike is pretty easy to take apart.
The whole bike is just in prime condition.
Huh. What's that?
Roll
Nice.
$12 mil. My whole bike. Probably start on the back wheel, I'm gonna guess here, and the swing arm. It's gonna be next. Charlie noticed that this thing was rounded off right here, and it's just completely missing a bolt. So we might have to take out the Dremel and just cut that little tab off right here. That's kind of rounded off to get the swing arm off, but that shouldn't be too big of a deal. Hopefully not. But yeah, I think the wheel can come off now. So let's just do that. Better not be.
Uh-oh.
Is it? No way. It's a big boy for that one. Oh. Is that spinning over there though?
Yeah.
Grab that thing. Not much to hold on to. Oh. Nothing. Wow, drop the wheel. Brake.
Everything's tiny.
Wheel off, brake off. Two of the biggest things. I think we should do the swing arm first. Chuck.
Yeah.
Swing arm first, and then we'll do the front end. So there's a bolt right here for the swing arm we can try to get out, but
Oh boy.
I'm guessing that's not going to budge. It spins easily. Alright, so this is some guy hammered on this right here. So there's like a little lip. We're going to try to use the Dremel and then sand that off quick. I'll hold that up kind of. I think the bushings in there are junk. It's like not even budging. Spinning it once, yeah. Try spin it this way.
Oh.
Yeah, right there. Let's get but like, you think it would just budge at least a little bit. Alright guys, we tried to get this bolt out of here, out of the swing arm for like the last, what, 2.5 hours?
Mm-hmm.
We finally got it. It was all rusted in. You can see where it was rusted right here. And that thing would not budge, but we finally got it. Chuck is gonna take it out for the first time.
Maybe.
Hopefully. Oh, yes. It's out. Let's see. So the bearing in here, yeah, pull that out. That's the one that was rusted.
It was rusted completely on.
Yeah, so shove that back in there, and then finally the swing arm is off. Now we can take the motor out. I'm so happy. Oh, thank God.
It's ridiculous.
That took so long to do, but definitely worth it. Got her done. Right, everything's pretty much off except for the forks, the handlebars, and the motor. So let's take the motor out first. We can probably just leave the carburetor right on there, and then just take off the slide right here. And this thing, the brake caliper will come off with the handlebars. But I think we're gonna do that after this. put that right there. And then the motor has a couple bolts. Has a zip tie right there. And there's 2 bolts down here. Alright, there's the motor. Gouged at my finger pretty good. That kind of killed. But we got the motor out. Got everything else out. We just have the forks to take off, which isn't a big deal. And then I want to get this frame powder coated. All the little pieces on the brakes and everything powder coated. Swing arm powder coated, the pipe right there. The brake over here, and we should get new sprockets and stuff for it. All new bolts, all new bearings we're gonna do. So lots to do yet on this project, but we're almost there. Alright guys, it's getting really dark out. We just finished up taking out the motor and finally finishing up this teardown. We've got the forks left, but we're gonna save that for next video. I've gotta get home and start editing this video. But we just have to take the handlebars off, the forks off, and then the wheel will pop off and we'll be all good there. All these parts are going to be cleaned, stripped down, and gone over completely. So next video, we're going to go over the motor. I have to go on eBay, look for a rebuild kit. We're going to check out the clutch, all the gaskets, all the seals. So that is next video, so stay tuned for that. The swing arm we have to get stripped down, sandblasted, powder coated, pipe, stripped down, sandblasted, powder coated, and all these brakes and stuff need to be powder coated. We need to find some new plastics, and I think that's pretty much it, so it's not too bad. Obviously the frame is going to need to be stripped down, powder coated as well, and then I'd like to do the shocks right there. Or just maybe polish those up, I don't know. What I'm going to do is make an Excel sheet with a part and a price next to it, and then whoever wants to donate to the project, I will leave a link for a GoFundMe, and just say the part you want to donate and the amount of money you want to donate. So technically you would be buying that part for the project, and then I think that's the best way to do it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want to contact me, go to Instagram at 2_vintage_. Ask questions, come chat. I'm always on there and posting new stuff, so definitely hit up Instagram for that. Otherwise, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video of this teardown. Lots more to go on this thing. We're doing a full restoration project on this, so I haven't done one of these in a while, and probably have never taken a bike this far before. So make sure to stay tuned and keep updated on the project. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, we are out.